Hello guys. Let me welcome everyone to my YouTube channel. This is my first video in the year 2021. This video is for grade 12 learners, and it's about sequence and series. So hopefully guys you will learn a lot from the topic. God help us. So let's start with the sequence, the topic of sequence. The topic of sequence. Now guys, when you are dealing with sequence, the topic of sequence and series, you have to know that okay, I have got types of sequence. I have what we call arithmetic sequence. There is what we call arithmetic sequence. There is what we call arithmetic sequence. There is what we call geometric sequence. Geometric sequence, and there is what we call quadratic sequence. Already now you know for grade 12 purpose that when I'm looking at the sequence, I will be looking at three types of sequence: arithmetic, geometry, quadratic, which makes things simple because you already know, okay, the topic of sequence, I'll be looking at arithmetic, quadratic, and geometry. And it's very important again to know how this sequence differ. How does arithmetic sequence differ to geometric sequence? How does geometric sequence differ to a quadratic sequence? So we will start with the arithmetic sequence. What we are going to do now, we are going to define what is the arithmetic sequence. That's the first thing we are going to do. And we are going to look at what is called the general term. So what is an arithmetic sequence? What are we talking about when we talk about arithmetic sequence? Arithmetic sequence is simply defined as a sequence of a common difference. A sequence of a common difference. So when we speak of arithmetic sequence, we are speaking about a sequence which has a common difference. And when we talk about common, we will just see common as, let's just say, the same. We will just see common as if we're talking about repetitive. Now, we are saying arithmetic sequence is a common, which means the same, which means repetitive, common, difference. Mathematically, when we talk about difference, we talk about subtracting two values. Like if we were to say difference of 6 and 2, we will say it's 4. So we know that, okay, when we speak of difference, the sign that is going to be used there is negative. And when we talk about common, we already know that we're going to talk about a certain value repeating itself, the certain value not changing, being constant. Let me bring example of an arithmetic sequence so you guys may follow. Sequence 258 always comes to my mind. This is simplest arithmetic sequence. Why are we saying it's arithmetic sequence? Because this sequence has a common difference. Let's see if indeed it has a common difference. Let's look at the difference between 5 and 2. The difference between 5 and 2 is 5 minus 2, which is 3. Let's look at the difference between 8 and 5. The difference between 8 and 5 is 8 minus 5 is 3. Therefore, we conclude that the sequence 2, 5, 8 is the arithmetic sequence because of the same difference. You can see the difference is 3, the difference is 3. Let me bring another example of arithmetic sequence. I have a book with me here. Let me pick this other sequence from the book. It's 5, 9, 13. The book is Classroom Mathematics Caps. So this is another example of an arithmetic sequence because of the same difference. If you say n minus 5, you get 4. And if you say 13 minus 9, you get 4. You see that the difference does not change. The difference of 9 and 5 is 4. The difference of 13 and 9 is still 4. So this is an arithmetic sequence. Arithmetic sequence has a common difference. Now, since we know what is an arithmetic sequence, we are going to look at what we call a general term of a arithmetic sequence. We know what is arithmetic sequence. We are going to look at the general term of the arithmetic sequence. Very important. The general term. My handwriting is not that neat. General term of arithmetic sequence. I will just say AS. What is a general term? Normally, in the exam room, to spot that the examiner wants the general term, they will say determine nth term. When they say determine nth term, or if they say determine Tn, the question is simply looking for the general term. So what is this general term actually? The general term is the formula which defines the sequence. The key concept there is that when we talk about a general term, we will be looking at a formula. We'll be looking at the formula. And this formula, it is used to answer questions that are relating to the sequence. Let's say they ask us question. Maybe they say, if you look, 5 is term 1, 5 is the first term, 9 is term 2, 13 is term 3. Let's say they say to you, determine term number 20. If they said determine term 4, it was going to be easy. You just add 4, it's 17. But term number 20, are you going to continuously keep adding 4? Now, when we determine term like 20 like this, we are going to use the general term. The general term should be the one that helps us to find term number 20. So the general term is like the magic of the sequence. It's going to help us in everything that has to do with this sequence, 5, 9, 30. So if we look for the general term of this sequence, we know the general term will be able to help us to answer questions such as finding term number 20. So let us come with this formula that has to do with this sequence. General term, it will be the formula of this sequence. Now, when we are looking for the general term of the arithmetic sequence, the general term of arithmetic sequence, you must firstly write this equation down. You say Tn equals to, makes sense because the general term is the Tn. So you say Tn equals to, then you say A plus n minus 1 d. This formula, guys, is very, 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 very important. You have to know it. A plus n minus 1 d. This formula helps us to find the general term of arithmetic sequence only. It will not help us to find general term of geometric sequence. It will not help us to find general term of quadratic sequence, but it will only help us to find the general term of arithmetic sequence. Now, we are in mathematics class. Né? Now, in maths, every time when they give us the formula, we have to understand the variables on the formula. We have to understand what does A represent there on the formula. A, since is the first alphabet, in mathematics, in terms of sequence, we say A is the first term. You can spot the relationship. A is the first alphabet. In sequence and series, we say A is the first term. More like if you look at the sequence 5, 9, 13, A will be 5 because A is the first term on the sequence. And then we have got N. When we are looking for a general term, N together with Tn, we just leave these variables. We don't touch them. For now, I won't talk much about N and Tn, because when we are looking for the general term, we will just leave these ones as they are. And then D for a difference. So a difference, we already spoke about it. The common difference. Already in this expression, in this sequence, 5, 9, 13. What was the difference? 9 minus 5 is 4. 13 minus 9 is 4. The difference there was 4. Now, to find the general term, let's say Tn equals to, I'm looking for the general term of this sequence, the arithmetic sequence. A is 5. N minus 1. D, the difference is 4. So Tn equals to 5 plus. Now, remember distributive law of maths. Grade 12 learners, sometimes they find themselves failing to apply a simple law of mathematics, basic mathematical laws. Like in this case, we know that we have to use distributive law here. We have to distribute 4 to n. We also have to distribute this 4 to negative 1. The number outside the bracket, multiply every term inside the bracket. So we say 4 times n, 4n. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So Tn equals to, algebra, we are going to work with numbers, deal with like terms. 5 and 4, they are like terms. They are all numbers, but 4n is not the like term of 5 and 4. So we are going to say, 5 minus 4 is 1, and then we plus 4n. So the general term here, you can write it as 4n plus 1, or you can write it as 1 plus 4n. I prefer this one. So it's not difficult to find general term of arithmetic sequence, only if you know which formula to use. That's my advice. If you know which formula to use when you are looking for the general term of arithmetic sequence, you cannot fail to find the general term. Know this formula, guys. Have it with you. Know it. Put it in your mind. This formula is very useful when we determine the general term of the arithmetic sequence. Let me look at another sequence. This sequence 1, 4. Is it 1, 4, 9? I don't like this one, is 3. I don't like this one. This one is not arithmetic. I want to deal with arithmetic first. 19, 16, 13. Yes, let me use this one. 19, 16, 13. This sequence is arithmetic sequence, where the difference is -3. It's arithmetic sequence. It's very important to check the sequence first. Which sequence is this one? So let's check if it's arithmetic. To check if it's arithmetic, we say term 2 minus term 1, we get -3. Term 3 minus term 2, we get -3. This is an arithmetic sequence. Why? It has the same difference, which is -3. Now, if we want the general term of this sequence, 19, 16, 13, if we want the nth term, if I say the nth term is the same as saying the general term. So if we want the nth term or the so-called general term, we have to use this correct formula. We say Tn equals to A plus n minus 1 D. What is A? A is the first term on the sequence. On the sequence 19, 16, 13, the first term is 19. Leave Tn, leave n, D is -3. Remember, D is the difference. So it's not difficult to find the nth term. 19. Now, plus, there is this plus. Now you work distributive law. -3 times n is -3n. -3 times -1 is +3. I decided to put this answer in bracket because I cannot write plus minus. So that's why I said, okay, it's plus. Since the sign is that comes is minus, I decided to put in brackets, and I know that Tn is going to be 19. When it is plus minus, negative will win. It's going to be -3n plus 3. So the general term is 22 minus 3n. I prefer it as -3n plus 22. This is the nth term, the general term of the arithmetic sequence. Guys, these things, they are not difficult. You can do it, guys. So we already know what is the, now we know how to find the general term of the arithmetic sequence. We have to be specific. We now know how to find the general term of the arithmetic sequence. I want us to go and see how can this general term be used. How can we use this general term? Let's say you have got a general term which is Tn equals to -3n plus 6. Let's say you have got this general term or of a sequence. And I believe is the general term of the arithmetic sequence. Let's say you have got this general term. How useful is the general term? Because general term is very, very important in sequence and series. How useful is this general term? The general term, if you can look at this formula very well, it shows the relationship between Tn and n. So the focus of this general term, it will be on a certain term number and also as the value of that term number. So the relationship is between Tn. I will just call it Tn. This is actually the general term. Tn and n. Just like when you say y equals to 2x, let me just say y minus 3x plus 6. This equation shows the relationship between x and y. We learn these things from functions. So now, Since we see the focus of a general term is on n and the tn, the general term itself. So it means it can be able to answer questions that has to do with finding term number. Maybe they can say let's say find term number 1. So we can say we want term number 1. We use this general term to find term number 1. We say t, where we see n, we put 1 because we are looking for term number 1. Actually the first term on the sequence. Minus 3, we are looking for term number 1. We put 1. So we say T1, negative 3 times 1 is negative 3 plus 6. T1, negative 3 plus 6, even if you press your calculator, you'll realize that is 3. So look at what the general term has done to us. It was able to find term number 1. So if they say find term 20, if the question say find term 20, you can use the general term to find term 20. You say T20 equals to minus 3 into 20 plus 6. You say T20 equals to negative 3 times 20 is negative 60 plus 6. So T20 is negative 54. So we already know that term number 20 is minus 54. Term number 1 is free. The sequence is the general term is able to give us the value of a sequence. It helps us to find term 1. It helps us to find term 20. Now, in this case, we were calculating, we were determining Tn knowing n, where we say term number 1. We were just substituting n. Or where we say term number 20, we were just substituting n with 20. So the general term helped us to find Tn where we know n. Now, in other cases, the general term can help us to find the term number. So the sequence, if we look at this sequence, actually, let's first look at the sequence of this general term. The first term is free, né? The first term is free. What is the second term? Where there is n, we put 2. The second term is 0. What is the third term? It's minus 3. What is the fourth term? Fourth term, minus 12 plus 6 is minus 6. Now, we can see that the sequence is decreasing by 3. 3 minus 0 is 3, is 0. 3 minus 0, 3 minus 3. The sequence is decreasing by 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 minus 3 is minus 3. Minus 3 minus 3 is minus 6. So we can tell that this coming number here will be negative 9, which is term number 5. So negative 9, negative 12, negative 15, negative 18, negative 21. Now let me say they do something like this. And then they say negative 21. What they are saying here is simply saying term number 1 is free, term number 2 is 0, term number 3 is minus 3, term number 4 is minus 6, there is term number 5, they did not give you the value, there is term number 6, they did not give you the value, until a certain term number. We don't know which term number is this one, but we know that the value of this term number is negative 21. Let me say, if we look at 3, we know that 3 is term number 1. 0 is term number 2. We don't know which term number is negative 21 because there are many term numbers in between here. So the question can say which term is negative 21. So they want to know the term number. So now we are still using the general term. General term help us in lot of cases. So now we are saying, oh, we want the term number. We don't know which term it is. So actually now we are going to say negative Tn is going to be negative 21. So we're going to say negative 21 equals to negative 3n plus 6. We group like terms, numbers together. So 6 will like to go and meet negative 21. So it's going to be negative 21, negative 6 equals to negative 3n. Negative 21, negative 6 is negative 27 equals to negative 3n. Hopefully 3 can go into 27. Yep, it goes 9 times. So you're going to divide by minus 3 both sides. So minus 27 divided by minus 3 is 9. So 9 equals to n. It means that negative 21 is term number 9. So actually I want you to understand what's happening here, guys. This general term minus 3n plus 6, it can help you to find the term number if you know Tn, and it can also help you to find the value of the term number if you know n. So just like functions, let's say y equals to 2x plus 3. If you know x, you can find y. Or if you know y, you can find x. I think you guys you are following. I wanted to pick a rubber. So now that was arithmetic sequence. I'm going to go and look at the geometric sequence. It's not for English guys, English. I wanted to stop the video and say I will look at it some other times. 15% remaining. I'm stopping the video, guys. I will look at the geometric sequence other time. Hopefully, guys, you understood the arithmetic sequence. You know what is an arithmetic sequence. You can find the general term of arithmetic sequence. You can use the general term to answer certain questions as just like which term is term 20. Which term is term 20, like where you can find n and also find Tn. Guys, can you please I'm going to ask that guys you subscribe to my YouTube channel to support me, or let me say to motivate me to continuously keep making other videos. Hopefully you found this one interesting. God bless you and keep you safe even in pandemic cases such as like COVID-19. May the Lord keep you, and may South Africa continuously grow, guys. Let's support each other in Mzansi. Thank you so much.